Well, hello there, good looking. Today, I want to talk to you about how to, step by step, quit your job to become a full-time woodworker. I'm gonna tell you my story and tell you how I did it and all the ways that I would not recommend that you do it, how I did it, and give you some practical steps so that you can do it too. Let's do it. So welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for your love and your support. I hope that these videos have been encouraging and inspiring and educational for you. And so I want to spend about 8 to 10 minutes, start the timer, talking to you about my story of how I quit my full-time job and became a full-time woodworker and how that was awful and you shouldn't do it how I did it and what you should do instead. So let's start with my story. It all began on a brisk morning, June 21st, 1991, when I arrived on this planet. No, I'm just kidding. So back in 2017, I was working a corporate job. I was working as a wholesale manager for a home decor company, for a sign company, and I started making coffee tables on the side. And I had sold like 2 of these coffee tables at this point. I'd made like $200. And my boss came to me and he said, "Hey, I feel like this is a conflict of interest. You working for me, you building these coffee tables. We're in the home decor industry." They sold signs, like wall signs, but they didn't sell furniture. So I didn't exactly feel like it was a conflict of interest, but they basically gave me an ultimatum of, okay, you can either stay here and have your job and your decent salary and stability and not do that, or you can go do that and leave. Obviously, it's a very difficult, challenging thing. I was not an entrepreneur at the time. I was trying to become one. But for whatever reason, again, I wouldn't recommend this. I would have never given myself this advice. I felt like I needed to do that. I felt like I needed to quit my job and start as a full-time woodworker. Well, if you've listened to the podcast at all, if you listened to the intro of the podcast, you know that I failed miserably. I quit. We had a little bit of a savings account, a little bit of a cushion, and I started trying to build this woodworking business, and we were just blowing through our money, right? We weren't making any money doing this. And I was stressed out. Man, I lost like 20 pounds. I was skinny and frail and sad and depressed and discouraged. It was brutal. It was brutal. It was one of the worst times of my life. I'll be honest. The reason that this didn't work was because I was trying to launch out and do something without the knowledge. Obviously, most of the time, you're not going to know everything when you start. And you shouldn't try to know everything, or otherwise you'll have paralysis by analysis. But you should have a good understanding of how you're going to get clients, how you're going to expand the business. And I thought that I did, but I didn't. There was nothing proven. So you should have something proven before you quit your job. Okay, that is what I did and what you shouldn't do. So what you should do is you should start a side hustle, find that it's proven, okay, that it's reliable, then make sure that you have consistency from that thing before you quit your job. But let me talk to you real quick about the practicals, the practicality of what you need to do in order to quit your job. Okay, so you need to determine what you need to make every single month in order to live. What do you need to make? Okay, is it $3,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000? I don't know. That's, you looking at your budget. What do you need to live? Let's just say for easy math, it's $5,000 that you need to produce for your household every month to make a living. Then we need to figure out, what do I sell and what are my net profits on what I sell? This is where, my friend, I made a big mistake. I didn't know anything about business. I said, oh, I need to make $5,000 a month. I just got to sell 5 tables. Well, no. You got to sell like 10 tables because your costs, your material costs, your labor costs, you have costs that you didn't factor in, homeboy or homegirl. So you got to make sure that if you are trying to replace an income, that you are fully aware, eyes wide open, of what your expenses are if you're trying to sell a product. So like, let's say, for example, it is tables. Your average table sale is $1,000, but it's going to cost you $500 to make that table. Well, then you're going to net $500 in profit off of each one of those products, right? So that means I would need to sell 10 tables at $500 in profit each to replace my $5,000 a month income. And then you just figure out how to sell enough of them and make enough of them to replace your income, and you do that. Now, there's another video we talk about where I'm talking about how the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. And one of the primary concepts of this is the gap. We talk about the gap, increasing the gap between what you're earning and what you need to live off of. This is one of those things that I want to challenge you to maybe hold on to your day job for a little bit longer, because you want to continue to increase the gap. I know that it's hard. I know that you're working yourself to the bone. I know that you're stressed out. I know that you don't love your job. But what if you had a business that was making just as much money as your day job and you had both for a prolonged period of time? All that same money that you would normally be living off of, you'd be saving. So you'd be saving $5,000 a month. You'd be making $60,000 in cash that you wouldn't be touching. Just consider that, my friend, before you quit your day job. But that's really step by step how I quit my day job. I'm gonna keep this video shorter. Hopefully this is helpful to you. Let me know other specific questions in the comment section about how to quit your day job, and I will do my best to dive in there and answer those questions for you. If this video helped you in any way, it takes like no energy to give me a thumbs up. And if this channel has been helpful to you, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. So with that being said, I love you very much, and I will see you guys in the next video.